Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reacting to Little Simz's brand new album called No Thank You. If you guys would like to skip right to my reaction, I will have a timestamp on the screen right here to where you guys can go to. And now onto a couple quick disclaimers. Number one, this is just my personal opinion and interpretation of the songs. I'd love to hear yours down below to keep respectful, please. Sorry for any background noise or dust particles that may occur throughout this video. I'm going to be stopping and giving my thoughts as I go along. I'm also going to have to cut out a lot of each song due to copyrights. Lastly, if I have anything else I forget to add, check down below. I might have a pinned comment. And let's get into it. The first song is called Angel.
Never cared about being immortalized. How can I stand with the ops and not with the tribe? Why did I give you the keys to authorize shit on my behalf? Now I'm scarred and mortified. Had to get my shit together and get organized. I don't wanna be the reason of more divide. Guess that's in my nature of being a water sign. Give me your ears to let me for the night. Missing opportunities, I wish I was that pressed. You need me and you feel the loss of my absence. Novelty wears off after a few years. We was too busy making music till the sun up. Didn't learn the business and now I'm ducking for cover. I can see how an artist can get tainted. Don't care if your mental is on the brink of something dark, as long as you're cutting somebody's payslip. I refuse to be on a slave ship. Give me all my masters and lower your wages. Fuck the politics, I'm going Megan on uniques. I re-listening from heaven on repeat. He was back in it when nobody believed. You can play the game, I don't see the need. Feel so alive. God sent me you as an angel. Hardest thing to do is stay strong. I knew I needed an angel. Mom, Saturn returning effect. They want you give more. Expect you to dream less. Please don't take my kindness for weakness. Perception and observation is clinical. No headspace, I've been shaving off my occipital. I'm ready to do the unthinkable. Feel so alive. I know good things take time. Hardest thing to do is stay strong. I knew I needed an angel. How you go against the same system you were colonized by? Having these conversations with self and nobody else. I need an angel with me for armor. I need accountability partner. I need a fire lit by the seaside. Purest manuka up in my beehive. I don't know what's got into me, but at least I ain't making time for self and not others when I got free time. Don't tell me I shouldn't just because you couldn't. Figured this is the moment I gotta speak now. Had to stand tall while they were trying to break me. And I said, you will never infiltrate me. Yo, we two worlds apart, you know, lady. Had to get the pen when I remembered that I'm Jay-Z. Had to cut, I got angels guiding my steps. Perspective is everything and I wonder what they see. Hurt people. Life doesn't come with presets. My frequency's seamless. I got angels.
Okay, so my thoughts on this track, absolutely excellent. I was really trying my best to just soak up everything that she was saying because she had an excellent bar after excellent bar. And I know that I didn't catch everything. Of course, as I listen more, I will definitely be able to pick up on more things and I'm sure other interpretations will help me. But I absolutely love this track. She ate this up. So one part that really stood out to me is it seemed like she referenced her song Two Worlds Apart from her last album, Sometimes I'm Maybe an Introvert, which is very cool. I love whenever artists reference their past work. And so I thought that was like a nice callback to that moment. And then she had like some lyric about Jay-Z in there. Like, I'll have that on the screen, of course, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's like there were so many great bars all over this song and it was just well constructed. I love Cleo's soul on the chorus. Everything just melded together super well. And this is a very strong start for this album in my personal opinion, so I can't wait to keep listening to it. And now onto track 2, Gorilla.
Blood clot bimmer, monkey to gorilla. Who is this woman that I'm seeing in the mirror? Name one time where I didn't deliver. Silent figure. I got a 3310 and a pack of blems. Then got the gold full black, circle back again. Intolerance couldn't break us. Pay homage if you respect how we came. Bank got bigger, been a different species. Tunes in a locker, heaven and earth attached to one pillar. Rest in peace to Mac Miller. New Simz dropped to shake the whole shit up. Paying on my job, yes sir. And rain is against her. Ups and wounds I hope never will fester. Beating on my chest, going ape shit. Putting in a grave shit. In an all black fitted hat low. Introvert but she ain't timid. My art will be timeless. I don't do limits. You ain't dropped nothing in my eyes I'm impressed with. But I'm not in the business of pretending. Stop flooding my mentions with bullshit. Talking on Simz like she's someone you went school with. Don't ask my opinion on shit, cause to make you feel good about yourself is exhausting. I've got bangers in a bowl I've been hoarding. Red light whenever I'm recording. See, I'm the only one on Gorilla. Simz is back here, just got real. I know the streets will love it like I brought my skin up. Cut with a different scissor. From the same cloth as my dear ancestors. I'm that cold. Going higher. Hey, what? Hey, sounds so special. It's about time. The just dues for the one we put in over a decade in this bitch. Say You never called another woman me and more. Charged up, fully barred up, I'm unleashed in.
Okay, so my thoughts on this track, thoroughly enjoyed it. And I thought that the production in here was fantastic. It was something that was so grandiose to listen to, and so I love that. I believe there was like a choir. That part was a really nice touch as well. The production was kind of giving me more like soul kind of vibe, something around there. Maybe it's a different genre, maybe like a jazz type beat, something around there. I thought that the production was very cool, and I really love the way that she just like floated on top of that. I thought that her delivery was on point. It was something that was really engaging to listen to overall. I thought that her lyrics on this were great, and just something that I really love listening to overall. And now to track 3, Silhouette.
Step into the shadow if you're trying to hide your silhouette. Had them on their toes, what I'm doing, pirouette. She can do this without me, yeah, that's their biggest fear. Niggas wanna take credit for something they never own. Don't you know I watched child, got here on my own. You give me an inch and want it back, man, I been through this. No starving, they need Cupid. Oh damn, she ruthless, been proven. Beethoven, no keys. When the drums beat to me, I just breathe through it. I don't try too hard, there's an ease to it. Price goes up, but I need to it. Look around if you're trying to find out who you are. You got a missing piece, I was the biggest part.
Okay, my thoughts on this song, exquisite overall. I thought that the production in here was impeccable. I just really love. I believe there were some strings on here, and I really like the drums and just everything that was going on with that, which is so well done. So really love the instrumentation on this track. I believe that there's another choir on this song, and I think that they did an impeccable job on there as well. And then her performance on this one is absolutely excellent, and something that is more like introspective and just talking about like what she was going through, and just wow, it really has blown me away. This whole album has so far, it's strong track after strong track after strong track. She is really not letting up. And so, like I said earlier, I'm really just trying to soak in everything as it comes. So far, I am loving this record. And now to track 4, No Mercy.
You know, getting busy with the force, like, ha, love. You wanna see a black woman get active whenever they chat shit. I just say nada, giving them my truth, and they gave us blackface. You wanna make a mockery of my pain? I start setting us a lie shit. Keep us low, then we get high quick. Trusting other people, billing every call made. Irony is I'm the only one not getting paid. Only paid for your bone, man. Might just make a nigga scream, nigga, we made it. We been here climbing these mountains, cause the only conversation we can have. Taking the throne back, no mercy. Toppings a bag, hella diamonds in a stash. Niggas riding out, got the Bible on the dash. You know that I'm unapologetically black. I can see it make you nervous, I'm a human landmine. If the contract more than 2 pages, a bad sign. It's my damn time, 16, calling America on the landline. Need a guy that's through the dark, I know sad times. Everything is archived, I can never be stopped, no mercy. Don't get lost in the sauce. When he talk, when you rush your life decisions over a 3-course meal. Next thing you know, you're doing 3 tours. Power in your name the minute you sell that. Everything is gonna change. What would happen if you put your people in positions? If I wanna release my art, I need permission. Please don't ever say your soul was a trap. They want me talking online, but I put it in my rap. I'm finally free now, they hoping I relapse. No mercy.
Okay, so my thoughts on this track, I felt like it was great overall. Her performance on it was something that I really enjoyed listening to. I thought the production fitted it nicely as well, and overall I could appreciate this for what it is. So listening to the song again for editing this video and also reading the lyrics, this third verse here really stood out to me. Just talking about the music industry and stuff that can happen, and you hear so many horror stories with artists who sign horrible contracts and they're very hard to get out of. Like, think of JoJo, for example. It was really hard for her to get out of that contract, and some labels, they don't let artists release albums, and so it's like really hard for some artists. And then in this verse she's kind of like talking about the struggles of it and stuff that she's went through, I suppose. And so it's just really interesting to think about everything that artists go through, and also like labels making artists tour when they really don't want to, or just putting artists through anything. And like she said, they don't really care about your mental health as long as, you know, you're making them a check, which is something that's really disheartening. And so that's just really something interesting to think about, but I can appreciate how she approached it in the song. Also, one lyric that really cuts deep is whenever she says, "I'm finally free now, they hoping I relapse." Like, wow. And it's like, you know, some labels, like once you get out of the contract or whatever, it's like they will do everything that they can to ruin you, because it's like they don't want people to think that you can be successful on your own. Like whenever Mariah Carey like left her contract with Columbia and then she was married to Tommy Mottola and divorced him and everything, after she left, he did everything he could to try to ruin her career after she moved on. It's just sad what can happen to artists, but like I said, I appreciate how she approached it, and definitely something interesting to think about. And now to track 5, X.
The mercenary don't fight the war for free. They fight the war for a currency. Land of the free. Enslaved by false pretense. They attack and we play defense. If the law ain't for us, use police and the police. How many times did we march with no shoes on, no J's on, no boots on? It happened years ago, so we should just move on. You think that man don't know pain because he got a suit on? Really, you can't fathom that my tree now has fruit on. Can't fly straight, I might up and migrate. Turbulence results in your mind racing. Where we stand, you wanna give us the Bible and have us give up the land. Fuck what you got planned, your wishes are my command. They wanna divide you when you're winning together. That's bigger than any check. One day you'll love my baby. Need your love, need your love. Valued, underappreciated in the workplace. Why does my blackness have to come with a fine now? I'm not ashamed of the soil that I'm made of. You don't know me well enough to call me Simmy. The closest people to me actually call me Simz. I could never sell my soul for a salary. Give up my power when I'm signing out respectfully. No one making sure my blessings are perfectly timed. Those handouts are never options where we reside. Speaking to the suits, they never give you the best advice. I've learned the hard way, emphasize real, recognize real. Step aside if you're not fighting the war with us. When you see that everything we feeling is intensified. Many say rehabilitation is hard. You saw your biases and escape. Somebody's daughter, I'm somebody's sister, I'm somebody's friend. You don't see me, I don't see me. You see money, which led me to writing the greatest shit ever penned. Switch your perspective, have you look at it through my lens. Never silence, I'ma speak my truth till the end. One day you'll love my baby. I need your love. Need your love.
Okay, so my thoughts on this song overall, something that was incredibly powerful to listen to and something that was necessary on the album, of course, and I can really appreciate how she approached it, and I think that her lyricism on this track is just excellent overall. There was already a lot to dive into on first listen, and then of course as I keep going back to it, I will uncover more and interpretations from other people and stuff like that. But she's talking about like, oh, they just want us to get over slavery, and it's like, no, we're not going to get over that. And that is something that's very important to say, because I'm so tired of white people saying that. Like at a certain point, like it still affects us to this day. Black people are still suffering from the effects of slavery, certain laws that were made, and just like so many different things go into that. And if you do your research, you understand exactly what she's talking about in that regard. And she was also saying like, we're not getting handouts like these white people are, and there's an entire thing of white privilege, which does exist, by the way. I feel like you cannot deny that if you really do your research, and you just see everything that black people have been through. And her talking about how black people have been exploited, whether that's an idea, whether that is labor, whether that is something else. Like black people have been through so much, and we continue to go through so much every single day. And it's also something different for me because I am half black, and so I definitely do benefit from colorism and stuff like that, and there's so many different things to go into that. And so the way that I'm treated in the world is completely different than someone who is fully black, and I feel like that's something that is really important to note. And I feel like we definitely have to talk about colorism in general, colorism in the black community, because that's a thing, and all these things are just really important to kind of understanding the experience. Even though I do benefit from that, right, I definitely still do experience racism. So that's like an entirely different thing, but I'm trying to get back into the point and not sidetrack too much. Basically, there's just so much that she's going into in terms of the subject matter on the song, and I feel like it's very important. And it just seems like we're always held to like a higher standard and stuff. And I believe she said something about like, oh, we tried a peaceful protest and that didn't work or something like that. And just all the stuff that has happened, like there's just been so much that we go through, and it's just really heartbreaking to see black people die for seemingly no reason. It's just something that breaks my heart every single time that it happens, and it shouldn't be going on like this. There's just so many changes that needs to be made around the world, and there's so much that we have to do as a society. I just feel like this track was really necessary and very important on the album overall, and so I can just really appreciate everything that she put into it. I believe there was a choir on this song again. I think that they sounded beautiful. I really like the production. I just think that everything on the song was incredibly well executed, and I think that you're coming out of the song feeling exactly what she wants you to feel, and so I just really appreciate what she was able to do with it overall. And now on to track 6, Heart on Fire.
Honesty between the seller and the buyer should be a given. I didn't know you were a liar. Lavish living, dripping, designer. Who you wearing? This song charted by time. Hearts on fire. I bought the dream with every penny that I acquired. Never works hard, but the business works harder. They won't do it like us. For the people buy us. Spirit on higher. Would make truth of everything I desire. As long as I got my baby here, rider. They want you conniving, creeping with your side thing. New world order, cause life as we know is dying. Ain't it just funny how you can literally give your everything? Gonna turn around and tell you ain't gave enough. Worst thing I could have done is put trust in a stranger. That needed to happen for me, only to wake up. They don't give a shit long as the gravy train running. Off so pure, do it for the love, not more. Maybe to sort my cousin out, but not more. By the time you know it, that list never stop growing, and you don't know what you even do this for. What's on right now? Gowns and champagne pours. Did you read the clause? It was never about looking for results. Navigating the fame is something you'll never trade for. Tell me what you came for, running away from that very thing you prayed for.
Okay, so my thoughts on this track, incredible overall. I really quite enjoyed it. I love the lyrics on this thing, the choir once again. I thought that the production was something that was intriguing to listen to overall as well. And now on to track 7, Broken.
What does it mean to be broken? The wound is painfully open. Always knew I was chosen to handle whatever chose me. Questions got me feeling like I should have never have spoken. All I wanted to do was uplift the women. You gotta move if you went back in the vision. I've been hitting some lows and never telling the soul. There's a reason why the dogs will never fly with the crow. Everybody's so obsessed with the CEOs. Only got the most troubles that she never disclosed. Poker face in action, continuing with the show. All she wanted to do was uplift the women. What does it mean to be broken? Feels like your light has been stolen. Smoking weed on your bonds, isolating yourself. And this week has been tough. Been saying that for a year. We're so weak, you can feel that shit in your bones. We all go through our hardships. Look how far you come and see you've only just started. You are deserving of life. You have a journal inside. You have the power to write. Whatever happens, just know that you've won. Ain't no happiness in it. Fake smiles just to deal with all the pain you've been given. Never been to that place you envision. Forced into work to contribute to the profit of Britain. They won't take the weight off you when you can't manage the load. Just waiting to hear a fucking crack in your bones. Trauma you've had to deal with alone. No father, how did you become a man on your own? Didn't know how to break the mold, and now you're raising a clone. Wishful thinking if the intentions don't align with the deed. Crabs in the barrel, your neighbor feeling the same shit. No one ever told you your mind is not to be played with. Why is mental health a taboo in the black community? It shouldn't be a norm to live your life as a tragedy. Promises you made reflect the promises they gave you. Family to save you. Can't even speak English, so there's no one to explain to. But you found a way through. 21 landed in London with hardly any funds. Because nothing's changed, still no money, but more things to pay. Work 2 jobs just so rises on the children's plate. Health issues that you tried to suppress. Tried your best, gave an arm and a leg. Only tears of hate for the black skin you were blessed with. Prepping for, gave your life to
Okay, so my thoughts on this track overall, it was something that was really intriguing to listen to. I think that the songwriting on here is stellar. And I really love her storytelling all the way throughout this track. She really knows how to tell a story and just have you engaged in it the whole time, which is something that I really appreciated. I love the production on here. I love the background vocal on the song. I really liked everything about it. And for a song to be over 7 minutes and I am engaged the entire time is just really a testament to how talented of an artist that she is, because not a lot of people are able to pull that off, but she is one of the people that is really going to make a song that long really worth your while, and it's really going to take you on a journey whenever you listen to it. So I really appreciated it overall. And now on to track 8, Sideways.
Toxic people get removed from where I'm staying. I'm in a psychedelic injected. They say black don't crack, my complexion is iridescent. When you men have your daughters, you'll see how important I am. I might serenade myself. Beat melodies hitting like a ton of bricks. Some distant lover shit, heating up the oven quick. Right now, this ain't music one overlook. Someone doing that, you must be as dumb as you look. Find it funny, our relationship with money. We already mentally spent the damn check. Don't get too attached to the version that you're seeing. The shot, and that's my nigga, is forever all love. I'm ready to become all I believe in. The devil can't illuminate my being. I'm taking notes from every book I'm reading. Respectfully, you ain't gotta check for me. Eventually they'll get that I'm here as a vessel. Stop playing with God. I'm a queen in my city. Got royal like tendencies, never moving sideways. I done this shit my way.
Okay, so my thoughts on that song, great, short and sweet, which I can appreciate. I liked her performance over it. I liked the lyrics. The one thing about the song that's bothering me, I don't know if that's a sample or not, but I feel like you know which part I'm talking about, but like at the beginning of the song, I think it comes in whatever. That part is really jarring for me to listen to. Maybe it's because of the way that it was mixed. Maybe if it was turned down in the mix, I would appreciate it more, but it feels like something that was just kind of like thrown onto it. I feel like it doesn't really blend with the rest of the track so well. You know, she's giving an amazing performance over it, and then boom, it comes in and it kind of like takes over, and not in a good way. It just feels kind of like clunky on the song, and maybe this is something that I can get used to. I plan to listen to this album many times over, so we will see, but that one part of the song wasn't particularly for me. I don't really think it's that big of a deal, but that was definitely something worth noting in that regard. And now on to track 9, Who Even Cares.
All you ever wanted was only to make your mama proud. They will smile up in your face and all she was about the face. You told them you make 100,000, and then like you're back to square one. We're back at your way of turn, a body to lean on. Who cares?
Okay, so my thoughts on this track overall, I'm able to appreciate it for what it is. I think that it's all right. I feel like in comparison to every other track on the album, it's probably my least favorite. It's not bad at all. I feel like the other tracks are just more dynamic in terms of like performance and like the production and everything. This is a completely different vibe. I'm able to appreciate it listening to it, but I feel like maybe if it would have been cut in half, I would have liked it a little bit more, because part of me is listening to this and like, maybe this drags on a little bit too much. So yeah, that's my thoughts on first listen. Not bad, but not exceptional. And now to the 10th and final track, Control.
Under control, out of control. Here's for me to behold. I'll give you passion and keys to my soul. Next morning, look to me and smile with a glare in his eye. Let go and let God handle it. Tell me what it is that you really fear in this life. Your trauma's gonna show up at your door anytime. Lost in my head, more than a sign. New territory ran, the connection builds, and you have memories attached. Don't do me like that. Time heals, but the love never died for you. Know you wanna hear my truth, I wanna hear yours. I'm listening too. I don't wanna hear bad news. While we come at a time when we got no shit to lose. I got nothing to hide, learning compassion and patience. Never wanna be complacent. See where I ride or I die. Had the best night of my life, looking at architectural designs. Smoking on something at the airways, getting clogged up and I think it's love. Don't listen to a word they say, then our favourite song gets played. Let's make a baby that's gorgeous and green. Oh, what a dream.
Okay, so my thoughts thoughts on that song? Good track overall. I really like the singing on there. I thought that her performance on it was great. I like the production. A nice way to close out the album. I feel like it kind of ties everything together really nicely overall. And now I wanted to share my favorite songs on the album with you based off of my first listen. So I'm going to say Angel. I really like Gorilla. I'm also going to have Silhouette, and I also remember really liking X as well. And I might add Broken in there. So these are going to be my absolute favorites on the album based off of my first listen. Of course, as I continue listening to it, my opinions could change, but this is just how I'm feeling right now. And now I wanted to share my overall thoughts on the album with you based off of my first listen. So I think that this is an amazing record. I really was not expecting her to release an album so soon after Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, and I happened to be on social media and everyone was like, oh, she's dropping a new album, and I was shocked. I really thought it was going to be a longer wait just because of how incredible that record is. But I'm just so thrilled to have this overall. Off first listen, this is something that was really intriguing. Listening to her performances, going back to that once again, she really kills it on these tracks, and so I just think that it is something that is incredibly consistent overall, and I feel like her songwriting on here is very strong. I can appreciate her storytelling and her delivery over these tracks. Of course, she always makes sure that it is something that is engaging to listen to. The production on this record was absolutely excellent, and so I felt like there was like some elements of like jazz or maybe soul music, and that was cool to listen to, but I feel like the production was really dynamic all over this record, and so that was something that I always really loved. And shout out to everyone who was involved in this record in terms of producers, engineers, songwriters. You guys absolutely killed it. And yeah, following up Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, that had to be a daunting task, but I think that she did it brilliantly with this record, and I quite enjoy it. And so this was something that I was so excited to listen to, and like I said, this is only first listen, right? So I'm sure that there's so much stuff that went over my head. I'm gonna have to listen again and be like, oh, I didn't hear that the first time or whatever. And so that's something worth noting, and seeing other people's interpretations as well, just because she's such a smart songwriter. And it always takes me a few weeks after listening to an album to have more concrete thoughts on it. Like on first listen, I obviously know like if I like the record or not, what are my favorite songs on it. As I keep listening more to the record, I have a more accurate representation of how I feel about it, and I'm able to soak in more so of the performances, of the lyrics, of the production, what parts stand out to me in a negative way, what parts stand out to me in a positive way, how will it stay in my rotation. All these questions will be answered to me as I keep listening to the album more, of course, and so that is something that I'm really excited to do. And this is going to be in my favorite albums of the year list, of course. Sometimes I Might Be Introvert was actually my album of the year last year. I remember listening to a bunch of different albums last year, and I could not find my album of the year, and then boom, I listened to that album and I was like, this is undeniably album of the year. She just really ate that album up. And so to follow it up with something as amazing as this just shows how talented that she is as an artist, as a songwriter, and so you just really had to give her props in terms of that. I knew that she would deliver on her next project, and she did not disappoint, and so I feel like that's something that's very important. I feel like there's so much to dive into just in terms of lyrical content alone, right? And then you also have these really dynamic instrumentals, and the production is great, and then stellar performances from her all over the record. And another thing I appreciate about this record is that it's only 10 songs long, and I love whenever artists do that, like a 10 to 12 song album, because I hate whenever albums are just riddled with a bunch of filler and it's like you could have just kept that. But I feel like this is a pretty strong body of work and pretty cohesive overall, so that's something that I really appreciate about it. Overall, this is the best rap album that I've listened to all year, and I can definitely see this staying in my rotation, and I'm excited to listen to it a lot more. And so I can just really appreciate everything that was brought to this album. I would highly recommend listening to this album if you haven't already, especially if you liked Sometimes I Might Be Introvert as well. I forgot to mention this, but I actually really like the album cover for this. I like the jacket. I think she looks great. I like the background. It's something that seems so simple, but I think that it really fits for the album overall, and I can appreciate a great cover, so I think it's cool. In terms of my journey with her music, like I said, I love Sometimes I Might Be Introvert. It was my album of the year in 2021. I have not listened to any of her other albums yet. I've been meaning to. There's just so much music out there, and so I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I'd really like to do that. So that's the only album I've listened to before coming into this. But that is going to be it for my thoughts on Little Simz's No Thank You album. Please let me know what you guys are thinking down below in the comments. What are your favorite tracks so far? Do you agree with my opinions? Do you disagree with me? Let me know, like, is it one of your favorite albums of the year so far, and all that stuff down below in the comments, of course. And if you want to see more videos on Little Simz, I will have a card on the screen right here to where you guys can go to, and that will just take you to the revisit with me that I did on her Sometimes It Might Be Introvert album. So basically in that series, I listen to albums I really enjoy with you all just for fun, and then I also pull up Genius cards sometimes to give a little bit more context in terms of what the songs are about, and I just go in depth on every single track. I give my overall thoughts. It's something that I really enjoy doing. So I did one on Sometimes I Might Be Introvert a few months ago, so that'll be there if you guys want to check it out. And that video will also be at the end of this video and link down below. You guys will check that out. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, give it a like down below. It helps me out a lot in YouTube algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You guys can subscribe right down below if you want to see more videos like this. If you hit the bell, you get a notification to when I post, you know, when some brand new videos come out. The first link down below in my description is going to be my second channel. I just posted a new video on there, and it's me doing a vinyl haul, so if you want to see the new records that I picked up, you guys can check me out on there. I'm also gonna have my Twitter, my Instagram, my Spotify, my TikTok if you guys would like to follow me, and then I'm also going to have a link to stream this record if you would like to check it out. Like I said, said, I'd highly recommend it. And lastly, I'm going to have links to educate you guys on important situations. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.